YouTube. All right, so I just watched, what is it? Chapter 13 of Mandalorian. So that is episode 5 of season 2. And that episode is titled The Siege. And it was directed by Carl Weathers, which was awesome. I didn't know he was directing things. I wonder if he has a past in directing. I should have looked that up before I started this vlog, but he directed it. I don't know. I think that's always fun when people from a cast direct the show that they're on. I used to watch a lot of Smallville, Superman, and that was always fun when you would see that cast members were directing or maybe writing an episode. That was always cool to see, so I like seeing that here as well. Also, it's pretty cool because my stepfather is in the movie Action Jackson, which starred Carl Weathers, so I sort of feel like, I don't know, I'm sort of connected to this episode in an extra sort of way for some reason. Because of that. I mean, I guess I could say that for anything Carl Weathers is in, but for some reason, because he directed it, it feels a little extra special, like I am a part of it. I don't know. I mean, I know I'm not, but I don't know, kind of feels that way for me. Check out Action Jackson if you haven't. I feel like an overlooked movie, maybe not as popular today as it was back in the day. I don't even know how popular it was back in the day. It always has been to me because my stepfather's in it, but I don't know if like the larger world outside of my family was like super into that movie, you know? When those sort of things happen, when it's like your family is really into a movie but the rest of the world doesn't know about it, or maybe the opposite is an example. I know there are like little bits of pop culture that somehow skipped over my house. It's like everybody knows about them, but I don't. But yeah, I guess I'm saying that Action Jackson is an example where maybe it was just my house and not other homes that was watching Action Jackson. But anyway, a good movie starring Carl Weathers that you should check out. This episode was pretty action heavy. It made me think a lot of A New Hope, the original Star Wars, George Lucas's original vision. I think because of all the hallways we were seeing, I was just like, oh yeah, hallways, yeah, hallways everywhere, stormtroopers, hallways. It just had that feeling of, excuse me, episode 1. But also some of the dog fight happening up in the air. I got like a hair on my arm I gotta pull off here. I think this is gonna be a one take, so I don't see myself editing this out, so sorry for stalling here. Dog fights were great. What else was I talking about? That hair really distracted me. I want to get back on track, and I'm trying to do that now. Oh yeah, the speeder bikes. The speeder bikes were very cool as well. Also, I can't remember the character's name. Horatio Sands plays him. He talks about a type of, craft ship, whatever, and talks about how it'd be worth a lot on the black market. I need your help in letting me know, was that a reference to like a toy or something, like a vehicle toy from Star Wars, like maybe back in the 70s or something, 80s, that was highly sought after, or maybe not at the time, but is today. And I don't know, I was just wondering if it was like a nod or a tip of the hat or something like that, because it just seemed like not just foreshadowing from when they take that vehicle, but also like a tip of the hat to the fans saying, hey, there's that, toy that you all loved so much or didn't like, but now we put it in this episode. Now everybody's going to think it's a hot toy. Kind of like maybe this was the same machine, but it didn't look the same to me. And I think they gave it a different name, but in season 1, when they had the stormtrooper transport vehicle, which was a nod to a toy. I was just wondering if this piece of ship, what do I need to be calling it, transporter, whatever, was a similar situation. So if you know, please let me know in the comments, because I don't know, and I probably am not going to go back to the episode and rewind it before bed to find out what it was called, to look it up online to see if there was a toy of that made back in the day. So if you know, let me know in the comments. If you don't, I'll look it up tomorrow or something. But I don't know. It'd be nice to wake up in the morning and then see an answer there. But yeah, overall good episode. And Baby Yoda, the child, was eating. It looked like he was eating blue macarons. And what I would like to see is Galaxy's Edge to start making blue macarons and selling them as, not, they wouldn't call them Baby Yoda snacks or child snacks or anything like that. What's the other name he has? I'm trying to think of it. Baby Yoda, the child, what is it? The cargo? No, that's not it. Man, I'm keeping this as a one take, so I can't edit in what he's actually called, because I could just look it up right now, but I'm not going to. It's not the cargo, it's not the unit, maybe it'll come to me later. But anyway, Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland and Disney World, it would be great if they started selling blue macarons, and then everybody who is buying them knows, I know those. I watched that episode of Mandalorian. I think I'll have some as a snack. So I honestly think that is probably what will happen. So I'm guessing look out for those at Disneyland and Disney World, Galaxy's Edge, because it just seems like the obvious route to go. It just seems like a perfect little snack, and the packaging is there, the little kind of foil looking packaging. They don't have to do much. I don't know. If I was in charge, that's what I would do. I would start selling those, and people would be eating them up. Everybody likes macarons. I mean, they're a little too sweet, a little too sugary, but I like them. So, I don't know. I would eat them. I think it's something they should consider if they aren't. I'm sure they already have. It's probably in the books to happen. And I'm still trying to think of what Baby Yoda's other name is. The cargo is what keeps coming into my head, but that's not it. The asset. Nailed it. Took way too long. I apologize. But it was the asset, right? If I'm wrong, let me know. But I'm pretty sure the asset is the other thing Baby Yoda is known as. And I also love that we as a culture are just cool with calling him Baby Yoda. We all know it's not Baby Yoda, but we're just fine with calling him that. We've just accepted it. It's like, yeah, I mean, we know he's not Baby Yoda, but we'll still call him that. I just think that's funny. I am a fan of that, to where we all know something isn't true, but we're just going with it because it flows. That's what that's just what we've decided. I don't know. I think it's fun to be. I mean, we're not being ignorant because we know. We're just not changing what we're calling him just because we're used to it. It's Baby Yoda. But yeah, man, I thought it was a good episode. It had, I don't know, did it kind of ditch the Western feel maybe a little bit? I don't know. I don't know. It didn't what was it, a heist? Did it sort of get a heist feel? I don't know. It didn't feel as Westerny as some of these previous episodes have felt to me, but I wouldn't say it ditched Western, even though I just said it. But yeah, it just, I don't know. But some of the speeder bike stuff, man, I was talking about that earlier. I just wanted to say that looks super cinematic. Like, I turned to my wife and I was like, this looks like a movie. And I've said that a lot of times. I'm watching this show and it's like, wow, this feels like a movie. But I just thought overall it was a good episode. I don't know if it was my favorite, but it was good to see some characters come back. Carl Weathers, obviously, love seeing him. We've been watching a lot of Toy Story because the girls really love Toy Story, and he does the voice for Combat Carl, also in Toy Story: A Terror, and like a lot of those shorter projects that they made. But so it's just cool to see him because we're hearing his voice a lot as Combat Carl. And my wife even said, she's like, I don't know, every time he talks during Mandalorian, I just think of Combat Carl. And I was like, oh yeah, it is. I mean, that's kind of like in our home right now. Growing up, it was Apollo Creed and it was Action Jackson. That's who Carl Weathers was. He was those two people to me. But like right now in our house, he is Combat Carl until we put Mandalorian on. But it is just kind of funny how you associate an actor maybe with a specific role, and how, because I have kids now, he's less Action Jackson and he's becoming more Combat Carl to me, which is pretty funny to all these years later, the shift in who I associate Carl Weathers with. And there was that time, when he was on Arrested Development, you got yourself a stew, or get that gold jacket like I never got, Happy Gilmore. I mean, he's done so much. We know him from so much, but growing up, to me, he was Action Jackson. But right now in my life, he's kind of Combat Carl. But anyway, this episode I thought was a strong one. A lot of action, almost like kind of chaotic in a way. Like those, hallways, going up and down hallways. There was a little confusion there, and I feel like that was intended, kind of like to disorient us as an audience, because they are new to this lab, new to this location. So they're disoriented because it's like, which way do we go? And I think putting that on us was kind of a smart move as well, because it just sort of felt a little labyrinthy in a way to me. I thought that was kind of nice. Confusing, but it felt purposeful to me. I don't know if it was, or if anybody else felt sort of like, down this hallway, down that hallway. Kind of felt like a fun house of mirrors in a way, where people don't know really what they're doing, and the edits were quick. So I don't know, that worked for me. I thought that was kind of nice. Also, yeah, speaking of spoiler-ish here, the lab, it looks like, there's some cloning going on, but at the very end, what did it look like to you that was being cloned? I thought I saw some like alternate Darth Vaders. Like, is that what you saw? And it looks like they're using Baby Yoda blood to sort of create an army of Sith Darth Vader types. Maybe. I don't know. That's kind of what I got from that. Not sure if you saw that as well. If so, let me know. If you ever stumble on this video 10 years from now, or however long it's going to be up. I don't know if anybody's going to watch it, tonight, tomorrow, 4 days from now. Maybe nobody. Sometimes nobody. Sometimes 4. Sometimes 683. You never know. But yeah, I don't know. I think I saw alternate Vaders. If you saw that, let me know. I don't know. That's kind of what I saw. I didn't pause it. Actually, we did. We did go back. We did the 15-second rewind to look at it again, and it didn't look like exact Darth Vader, though. It just looked like maybe it was him, or like a tip of the hat to his armor, his helmet, and all of that. So, I don't know. It's all very interesting, though. This episode very much felt, at least those parts, felt very much attached to the whole overarching story, more so than some of the other ones, which sort of felt, kind of a little more contained, and in their Western style too. Stranger pulls into town, something goes wrong, he's there to fix it, and then he keeps on moving. That's kind of how this one was too, but again, sort of felt more tied with everything that we've been seeing last season. So, yeah. But I do love that style so much. It just reminds me of so many great shows that I watched that were from the 70s. I wasn't around in the 70s, but like watching reruns or DVDs and things like that from 70s shows, and 80s shows, like, the Hulk. This really reminds me of the Incredible Hulk television show. Just moving one town to the next, and then sort of solving a situation there. Planet of the Apes television show was the same way. Moving from one town, one village to the next one, and then helping the people with the situation that's going on. The Fugitive, that movie is more what I'm familiar with, but I know it's based off of a television show that, moving from one town, one city to the next, and then sort of solving a situation. The movie very much does that too, except for it's, sort of scene by scene he's over here. Oh, there's somebody over here that I can help. And then he goes to this area. Oh, there's someone over here that I can help. Just sort of, like that series pared down to a single film. But that's what I love so much about Mandalorian, is that it reminds me of these old shows from 60s, 70s, 70s, and I think Fugitive might have been 60s, 70s, regardless, 80s with the Hulk. Just reminds me of that, and I think this is another entry into that genre that is just so good. So good. Anyway, wow, I can't believe I've been talking for about 15 minutes. Anyway, I don't know. Did you like this episode? If you're watching this, if you stumble on this episode, I'd like to know. I mean, I thought it was good. I don't know if it was my favorite again, but I feel like I'd have to binge the whole show at once, and they're not giving us that opportunity. We do have to wait from week to week. So a binging session, I think, would give me a clearer picture of whether or not this is my favorite episode. Give it a few more viewings. But I really did dig this episode. But I don't know. What did you think? Anyway, I think that's going to do it for today. So perhaps I'll see you tomorrow for more Peer Hangout.